defeated St. John's team 75-66. Calipari picked up his 50th career win in the NCAA tournament and his third in 5 meetings with Pitino in the tourney. Maryland is back in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016, behind a game-winning buzzer beater from freshman Derek Queen to defeat Colorado State 72-71. He became the 4th freshman with a buzzer-beating game winner in the NCAA tournament. Kid showed up, and Tyrese Proctor had career highs of 7 3-pointers and 25 points, helping Duke beat Baylor 89-66. Duke has won its first 2 NCAA tournament games by a combined 67 points. Shannon, which team had the best weekend? Oh, hey, Coach.
Duke. What? Or go ahead, Coach.
No. Go ahead.
It's you, Shannon.
I want to hear your guys' opinions first.
Okay. Man, you know it kills me to say this. The Duke Blue Devils. It's not that, look, they're the #1 seed, and we get that. But it was how they looked in doing it. And there, you know, is Cooper going to play? Should they play him opening night, or do they wait a game? Because they should be able to beat the 16th seed, and he's been sensational. And then when you throw in Proctor doing what he's doing, they're deep. Yeah, Duke, for me, who's had the best opening week is the Duke Blue Devils, and I don't think it's a close second, Coach.
Shannon. Let me help you here a little bit. First of all, the SEC got 7 teams to the Sweet 16. 7 teams. So basically, the SEC had the best weekend because they got 7 teams in the Sweet 16. Secondly, it's Arkansas.
They had 14 in the tourney.
Well, that's all right. You still got 7 and never thought they were going to disappear. Now, why is it Arkansas? It's real simple. It's Arkansas because they were 0-5 in the SEC. They got into the tournament by playing into the tournament. They got through a Kansas team, the only double-digit team left. They got through Kansas, and then they got basically the King Prince, Rick Pitino, and St. John's. You know, the Big East champion, the Big East tournament champion. Rick Pitino on Jimmy Fallon, Rick Pitino on the back of the post. And all they did was get through those 2 guys. The only 10 seed left. The SEC's got 7 left. Through Kansas, through St. John's. And by the way, on that St. John's thing, Rick Pitino sitting R.J. Lewis was a shock to me. Rick Pitino is one of the great motivators in the history of college basketball. He's a guy that takes guys and gets them to another level, which he did with the St. John's team. To sit his best player, the Big East Player of the Year, over 5.5 minutes at the end of the game, I don't care how bad that guy was playing. You put your arm around him as a coach and you say, you know what? You're the Big East Player of the Year. You've carried us all season long. You are built for this. Let's get back in there. You know what? We're struggling scoring. Go make a play. Get a stop. Get a rebound. But you know what? We're not going to end this game without you on the floor making a difference. I was really surprised that Rick Pitino did not put him back in the game. But John Calipari in Arkansas, the 2 wins they had, you can't even challenge that. Bill Self, Rick Pitino, a 10 seed, by far the most impressive weekend of the opening round of the tournament.
Coach, you're wrong, but I'll get to telling you why. I'll get to telling you why in a second. I want to get to the Rick Pitino point real quick. If Rick Pitino is watching, I want him to realize this may be the first time on the basketball court that he's done something to hurt his stature. You, particularly in this day and age of transfer portals, NILs, etc., you cannot take your best player and sit him down. You cannot have 3 players getting more minutes than the reigning Big East Player of the Year. You can't do that to that kid. You got to be, you wrap your arms around him and you push him and you go down with him. You're looking at him and you're saying, you brought us here. Okay, take us there. And if you don't, we're going to ride and die with you. That's what you do. If you're a superstar caliber college basketball player and you saw that, you're holding that against Rick Pitino. Does that mean you might not come play for his program, whatever? I'm not going to get extreme, fellas. I'm simply saying you're holding that against him. That's not something you do to a guy that has delivered for you and brought you to this point. Is primarily responsible for you resurrecting this program. I mean, that's not good. And if you're Rick Pitino, you got to live with that. You really, really do. Now to get to the answer to this question. It's very simple, Coach. Shannon's right. You're wrong. It's Duke. 2 victories by 67 points.
Who are they playing?
Excuse me. No, Cooper Flagg. This is the other point that I was bringing up. Cooper Flagg, remember, I wanted him to sit down that first game. Played in the first game, played in the second game. So not only are you winning convincingly, but you got Cooper Flagg on the court looking healthy. You understand? Averaging about 16, all right, a game. I'm looking at his numbers. 48% shooting, 16 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 blocks in the 2 games, 51 minutes of action, 32 points total. That's what you got from Cooper Flagg. And this kid, Proctor, oh, Lord. Did you see him, Shannon? I mean, the brother missed 1 shot all game. It was a 3-pointer. 9 of 10 shots, 7 of 8 from 3-point range. Lit him up. So, again, you know this, Coach. We got Cooper Flagg. He on the court. He looked good. But in the same breath, he went down pretty much. We know this. We got to be a little cautious. The rest of us got to step up. And that's what they did. Duke looks ready for a run for the national title. And that's what I'm trying to say. You want to talk about nostalgia, good feelings? Yeah, being a 10th seed out of the SEC, you didn't win a championship. You're Calipari, you didn't win a conference championship. But here you are in the Sweet 16 for the first time in years because you wasn't getting in the last few years at Kentucky. I get that part. But if we talk about championships, and you looking at Duke and the way they rolling right now, and then you see Florida and the way they struggled against UConn, who's looking at college basketball right now and thinking there's somebody that's going to beat Duke?
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you that. Real quick, how down are you on Florida after UConn almost beat them?
Not at all. I mean, look, UConn played at a very high level. Everyone's going to have, unless you're like UConn the last 2 years, everyone's going to have one of those games where you got to just, you got to gut through it, make a play. Walter Clayton became Walter Clayton. He's a first-round draft choice, first-team All-American. They made plays. UConn made some plays out of character down the stretch. Look, you're going to have one of those games. That's all there is to it. But I understand what you guys are saying, but this kind of goes back to a couple things here. Now, first and foremost, Mount St. Mary's. Do you even know where it is? All right? They beat Mount St. Mary's. They're supposed to beat Mount St. Mary's. I think it's like Gaithersburg, Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. I know I drive through there on the way to visit my daughter in Leesburg, Virginia. But, I mean, Mount St. Mary's, nice little program, little good tradition, but it's Mount St. Mary's. And then they beat a Baylor team that was depleted. Look, I think Duke's great. I think Cooper Flagg's great. I'm happy he played. I thought Tyrese Proctor played with so much force and so much confidence. It was great. Nothing away from what Duke has accomplished or they can accomplish, although I'm still high on Florida. It's more about, let's face it, 0-5 in the SEC, you're going to play at Kentucky. You play your way into the tournament. So most guys would be satisfied with that. But then to take down Bill Self, a Hall of Fame coach, to take down Rick Pitino, the number 2 seed.
Stop it. Oh, stop
it. Man.
Stop it, Coach.
Kansas has been terrible all year. Kansas has been awful. Don't do that. Don't do that, Coach. Yeah. Don't do that. No, hell
no. Don't do that. Stop it, Coach. Look, we love Bill Self. Bill Self is phenomenal. But come on now. Kansas ain't been the same all year. Oh, yeah, stop that. And St. John's, I mean, damn, 2 for 22 shooting from 3-point range, 9%. Come on, Coach.
Why were they 2 for 22?
Because they can't shoot. No, because they can't shoot. That's why.
Getting stuck between
they came into the game not being able to shoot.
I'm in a trap, and I'm trying to fight the trap and get through and make a pass to the post.
Come on,
you
Coach.
guys just double-team me. I'm trying to look over.
There we go.
Shannon's too tall. You got quick hands.
Come on, Coach.
Stephen A. And Stephen A., remember, he led off that said that Pitino should have played the Big East Player of the Year.